Perhaps this would be a good time to examine each part of this rolling exhibition. The train's first engine was, of course, the Reading T1. Built in 1945, the T1 ran until 1955, but was kept ready for additional service until 1967 when it was officially retired. Restoration in under 30 days had meant a cheap coat of paint for her debut, but this soon gave way to a nicer paint scheme which wore much better. Renamed America, the T1 looked handsome in its new coat, but there was still something missing. Her final paint scheme included a more unified look that included the Great Seal of the United States, appearing courtesy of special permission from the government. Hand-painted by noted railroad artist Bob Lorenz, the seal became the most striking feature of the engine. The water tender that the T1 picked up early on was from a New York Central Mohawk. The added water capacity meant that the train had to stop less often for water. Since the T1 didn't have a crew or maintenance car, this tender carried tools and supplies where the coal would have normally gone. The Daylight represents the only survivor of a class of locomotives built especially for the Southern Pacific Railroad. Its huge 80-inch drivers were designed to pull a short train at very high speed along the coast route from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Her ever-present tool car was a former 6-axle heavyweight baggage car and one of the oldest cars on the Freedom Train. The tool car was numbered PNWC 76 for the Pacific Northwest chapter of the Railway Historical Society. Flat cars number 30, 31, and 32 carried the concessions, souvenirs, and ticket booths needed at each display site. They also carried the Chevy Blazer and forklift that traveled with the train. The Blazer was a favorite among the setup crew and soon sported a unique Freedom Train logo of its own. Word came down from the foundation that the logo could stay, but wasn't to be used anywhere else. Together, the Blazer and forklift were all that was needed to set up the booths in under 2 hours. Also riding the flat cars on occasion were a GMC truck and a panel van, each decorated in Freedom Train colors. On rare occasions, other equipment like this red panel van were aboard, but these were exceptions. Car number 20 was home base for the concessions people. Equipped with showers and a washer and dryer, this car made life considerably easier for them. It should be noted that the Freedom Train was privately funded by corporate donations, ticket sales, and merchandising. No federal funds were used whatsoever. Car number 33 stood out because of its roof vents. It was mainly used for storage of concessions and merchandise sold to help offset the train's cost. If you look closely, you can tell that the blue stripes on cars 20 and 33 were darker than the rest of the train, but only during the last part of 1976 when these shots were taken. Showcase cars number 40 and 41 contained large displays that were to be visible day and night, even while the train was in motion. Inside were an early locomotive, an early automobile, a fire truck from George Washington's Fire Company, a lunar rover, a double-sized replica of the Liberty Bell, and a map showing the route of the Freedom Train. Car number 100 was the entrance car. It was also the security car and was manned 24 hours a day. At display sites, a ramp would be erected to the side entrance door where visitors would begin their trip through the train. Cars 101 through 110 held the 512 artifacts of Americana that made up the exhibits of the train. A moving walkway down one side of the cars carried visitors past the displays. Outside, one side of each car had two shadow boxes with displays in them, while the other side had two display panels depicting different scenes from America's past. Cars 111 and 200 were the power cars. Diesel generators in each gave power for the moving walkways, security systems, and lights round the clock. Car 111 also served as the exit car. Car number 201 was perhaps the newest car on the train. A Pullman sleeping car, 201 provided sleeping quarters for the small percentage of the staff that actually lived on the train. Most of the staff lived in hotels and moved from town to town in buses or personally owned vehicles. When the sun was in just the right place, 201 could still show off her heritage as a Southern Pacific veteran. Car 202 was the combo car, affectionately known as the pie car. 202 served many a meal for the dozens of American Freedom Train staffers. Cars 203 and 204 served as office and hospitality cars, while number 205, the observation car, served as press car and generally was the place to be. And of course, there was the third giant steam engine restored to pull the American Freedom Train. But that, as they say, is another story.